Imagine a location where history, spirituality, and tension intertwine so profoundly that its roots extend back millennia. The Temple Mount in Jerusalem is more than just a geographical point. It stands as an epicenter of faith and conflict. Did you know that, in recent years, the number of visitors has surged dramatically, exceeding 3 million annually? That's right. Amid this influx of visitors, groups and movements are emerging, calling for recognition and respect for one of humanity's most sacred sites. Recently, the significance of the mount has expanded beyond its spiritual meanings. It has become a central stage for events that are capturing global attention. And as we observe the current landscape, the tension in the Middle East feels more tangible than ever. Protests, interreligious debates, and a growing sense of urgency permeate the air. After all, what does this location signify in the contemporary religious dynamics? From ancient Jerusalem to the modern reality, the Temple Mount carries an immense emotional weight. Observing its impact not only on the lives of believers, but also on international relations invites us to reflect on our role in this historical conflict and to seek a spiritual answer. What is at stake, and what signs of redemption might emerge amidst the discord? Join me as we delve into the complexities of the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount is a site that transcends centuries and civilizations, serving as a silent testament to the beliefs that have shaped humanity. For Jews, it represents the place where the two temples were built, the first erected by Solomon and the second reconstructed following the Babylonian exile. On these sacred grounds, offerings were presented, and God's presence was felt by millions throughout history. Conversely, for the Islamic tradition, the Temple Mount is home to the Dome of the Rock, one of the most significant Islamic shrines associated with the belief that the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven from this very site. This intersection of beliefs has rendered the Mount a sacred space for both Jews and Muslims, creating immense cultural wealth, but also a field of disputes and tensions. Conflicts over the years have been intense, with significant events such as the Six-Day War in 1967, when Israel took control of the old city of Jerusalem, including the Mount. Protests, both peaceful and violent, have occurred in the name of faith and the claim to this sacred space. Recent data shows that incidents related to the Temple Mount have increased, with an average of 90 confrontations recorded each month. This scenario illustrates not only the fragility of peace in the region, but also the strength of the beliefs intertwined there. The culture and significance of the Temple Mount extend beyond its stones and structures. They are deeply rooted in the religious practices, prayers, and celebrations that occur daily. The pilgrims who visit the Mount seek not just spiritual understanding, but also a connection to history, creating a sense of belonging to something greater. In this place, the voices of those who pray and those who protest echo together, forming a vibrant mosaic of experiences and stories. Here, the challenges are not merely political, they are also profoundly spiritual. How can we, then, comprehend this complexity and seek a space for dialogue and respect among the various religious traditions that meet on this ground? As we revisit the echoes of the past, we are invited to reflect on the lessons that these historical moments teach us. What does the history of the Temple Mount reveal about the human condition? How can we, through cultural understanding, find new pathways toward peaceful coexistence? In recent years, the Temple Mount has served as a stage for significant changes that not only impact local religious life, but also the regional political dynamic. Recently, the rise of the Kohen, or priest, at the Mount has prompted discussions about the possibility of restoring the temple, something many Jews see as a crucial step in fulfilling biblical prophecies. This symbolic movement has generated a mix of hope and tension, especially among the Muslim communities who view the Mount as a symbol of their religious identity. Recent statistics indicate an increase in security and police presence around the Mount. In 2024, There were 1,200 incidents that necessitated security intervention, reflecting growing concerns over the safety of the site and its visitors. These intensified presence, while necessary, can foster an atmosphere of fear and mistrust, complicating dialogue and coexistence. The public reaction, both from local residents and religious leaders, is complex. During interviews, some locals expressed hope that new initiatives may lead to a safer and more respectful space for everyone. A local religious leader stated, "Our faith teaches us to seek peace. We need to create an environment where everyone can pray freely, regardless of their belief. Conversely, there are concerns that recent actions may exacerbate existing tensions, leading to new waves of protests and violence." We are witnessing not merely an increase in the frequency of public prayers, but also a revival of interest in interreligious gathering. Groups from different faiths have come together to promote understanding and tolerance among religions. These dialogues are essential as they help build bridges over historical divisions, offering a new hope for coexistence at the TempleMount as events unfold. It becomes clear that the future of the Mount is intrinsically linked to the willingness of leaders and the populace to embrace dialogue and understanding. True transformation will not occur solely through security measures, but through a collective effort to acknowledge and respect each other's narratives. How can we shape this future? What lessons can we learn from the traditions practiced in this sacred space? The answer may lie in the ongoing search for understanding and compassion among communities, which could not only alleviate tension, but also promote a return to the essence of spirituality that the TempleMount symbolizes. Amidst the growing tensions and developments at the TempleMount, biblical prophecies are once again coming to the forefront in the spiritual lives of many believers. The connection between current events and the future expectations described in Scripture is a matter that fascinates and concerns many simultaneously. Numerous religious traditions interpret the Mount as a prophetic center, where divine plans unfold before humanity's eyes. In the Old Testament, prophets like Ezekiel and Isaiah speak of the restoration of the temple and the return of the people of Israel to their land. These compelling visions not only fuel hope within the Jewish community, but also resonate within Islamic beliefs that await a time of peace and harmony among nations. Graphs depicting these connections between historical events and prophetic passages illustrate how the past and present intricately intertwine. Several believers have shared their personal experiences, stating that they feel a calling to the TempleMount Maria. A young Brazilian Christian who visited the site describes her experience. "When I set foot on the mount, I felt the presence of God in a way I had never experienced before. For me, it was a sign that He is still active in our history, even in times of conflict." These emotional testimonies reveal how the Mount is not merely a physical space, but a symbol of a collective quest for redemption. Spirituality transcends religion. It becomes a convergence point of lives and experiences. The ability of different groups to share their narratives about the Mount may serve as a powerful catalyst for mutual understanding. However, communication between religious traditions and the interpretation of prophecies are not always free from conflict. Some schools of thought interpret prophecies literally, while others adopt a more metaphorical understanding. These debates contribute to the existing tension, but can also be seen as an opportunity for deeper dialogues. How, then, can we use these prophetic perspectives as a tool for promoting peace? By celebrating the diversity of beliefs and practicing mutual respect for the narratives that shape each person's spirituality, we may discover a path that not only converges in the quest for truth, but also embraces unity amid diversity. As events unfold at the TempleMount, the complexity of religious and political tensions becomes ever more apparent. What is at stake is not merely a physical space, but also the identity and beliefs of millions of people worldwide. The role of political actors, both local and international, is crucial in this context, and their actions shape the scenarios in which religions interact and coexist. Israel, as a state claiming Jerusalem as its capital, faces constant challenges regarding its relationship with the Muslim communities that also consider the city sacred. There is a growing global pressure for peace to be achieved, but often what is lacking is effective dialogue. Some nations, like the United States, have engaged in negotiations, but sustainable outcomes remain elusive. Recent surveys revealed that 61% of the Israeli population believes that peace with the Palestinians is impossible, while many Palestinians feel equally disillusioned regarding negotiations. The challenges are not merely rhetorical. For many, they represent a lived reality every day. The frustrating lack of progress in peace negotiations translates into insecurity in daily lives, creating an environment prone to protests and confrontation. The rising tensions, such as the frequent incidents in areas surrounding the Mount, have led to a cycle of violence that perpetuates animosity between different groups. A regional security expert stated, "The situation is volatile, and each new event could be the spark that ignites the fire. However, within this turmoil also lies an opportunity. A shift in attitudes towards the Temple Mount, with a focus on promoting interreligious dialogue, could open new doors to peace." Recent initiatives that bring together representatives from different faiths and to foster mutual understanding, allowing various traditions to share their stories and respect each other's spirituality. When successful, these actions could transform the narrative from one of conflict to one of collaboration. The Temple Mount, in its essence, represents not just division, but the possibility of unity. How can we, as individuals and communities, act to create an environment that supports this transformation? We need to question our own perceptions and work to understand the stories that shape others' beliefs. Dialogue is a significant first step. By engaging in difficult conversations, we form connections that transcend religious and national boundaries. A future of peace and understanding may be within our reach if we choose to work collectively towards it. In light of the complexities surrounding the Temple Mount and the tensions that permeate relationships between different communities, we are challenged to reflect on our own faith and beliefs during these changing times. For many, spirituality is an anchor amidst the storm, and in this context, self-discovery becomes an essential path. It is vital for each of us to ask, how can we contribute to the peace around us? What attitudes and actions can promote an environment of respect and understanding? As we encounter these questions, we recognize that every effort counts, even the smallest ones. A simple conversation with someone of a different belief or participation in interreligious dialogues can be significant steps in building a more peaceful future. Social media and dialogue platforms offer valuable spaces for sharing stories, experiences, and perspectives. Using these tools to spread messages of support and understanding can transform conflict narratives into constructive dialogues. Historically, acts of generosity and compassion have the power to illuminate the darkest paths. What can we do today to be agents of this change? Moreover, it is important to remember that spiritual reflection does not need to wait for a grand occasion or event. Each of us can cultivate daily moments of meditation and prayer, seeking wisdom to navigate the uncertainties surrounding us. By focusing on our connection with the divine, we can find clarity on how to act in challenging situations. These practices are a way to remain open to what God is doing in our lives and in our world. Reflecting on what the Temple Mount represents to you can be an excellent starting point. How does this sacred space resonate with your personal beliefs? In what way does the quest for peace and understanding express itself in your daily life? These questions not only help us understand our own spirituality better, but also discover opportunities to reach out to others. I invite you to consider the role you wish to play in this process of building a more welcoming and harmonious future. Every contribution, whether large or small, can be an essential part in creating a world where faith and peaceful coexistence can thrive. As we conclude this reflection on the Temple Mount, we are reminded that it is not merely a physical structure, but a space that holds stories of faith, resilience, and a deep yearning for peace. Over the centuries, this sacred site has been a testament to humanity's spiritual quest, and it continues to be a point of intersection among different beliefs and cultures. We can find hope in the pursuit of understanding and the desire for dialogue. Even amidst the challenges we face, it is crucial to remember that peace is not just a distant ideal, but a reality that we can construct day by day, starting in our own hearts. The true value of the Temple Mount lies in its ability to unite us, not by our differences, but by our commonalities. The bonds of faith have the power to transcend barriers, and it is through empathy and mutual respect that we can pave the way for reconciliation. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, the true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. This quote serves as a powerful reminder of our responsibility to care for one another. Every act of kindness, each gesture of compassion, every effort to promote understanding is a contribution that can resonate far beyond ourselves. May the message we carry forward from our reflection on the Temple Mount be one of hope and action. Never underestimate the impact that your words and actions can have on the lives of others. By committing to peace, you become a light in a world that often feels dark. As we close, may we carry forward the flame of empathy, extending it to all those who cross our paths. Let us move forward, confident that despite the challenges, the quest for peace and religious understanding is always within our reach. Placing myself in this story as a Christian, my view aligns with what is shared here. Despite believing that a peace dialogue without conflict may be impossible between Jews and Muslims, my Master Christ advised Romans 12:18, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Jeremiah 29:7, seek the peace of the city where I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray to the Lord for it. For in its peace you will have peace. 1 Peter 3:10-11, turn away from evil and do good, seek peace and pursue it. Mark 9:50, have sought among yourselves, and be at peace with each other. Ephesians 6:15, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace. This is not a conflict Christians should engage in, but rather observe. There are many prophecies yet to be revealed in that place. Jews and Muslims may be brothers, and this is a family dispute. Christians are God's adopted children, while Jews and Muslims are his blood children. We know this is an ancient struggle, and prophecies indicate there will be no peace, always war between these two peoples. We should merely observe from afar and pray for a new spiritual kingdom to be established with the second coming of Christ. May God bless us, and may the Temple Mount continue to serve as a beacon of hope and redemption for all. Despite the complexities and the historical tensions buried within its walls, it remains a powerful symbol of the potential for unity and spiritual renewal.